All right, so I decided to take a quick break from our building the website videos, and let's jump right into some new features that the Google Chrome browser came out with. It'll be interesting to kind of see how I go about learning these new tools and techniques, and a lot that you can learn and pick up, and to kind of stay more current as well. There's so much in the Google Chrome dev tools that I don't even know about, and I'm always learning something new there. So I've just kind of made it an effort with every new update to keep tabs on those features, check out the new features, and try and use them. But I feel like their videos are great and helpful, but sometimes it's just good to learn it from somebody else and see firsthand. So I just picked 3 of the really cool neat things that are included, and let's go over them and explain them a little bit and see why they're so interesting. So to start, let's look at what they call log points. So if you're not too familiar with JavaScript, many times when we're debugging something, we're faced with scripts and numbers and all these different things, and we might not know what the actual output is. So I've kind of got a script here. It's a mystery number. We don't know what it is. In this case, I picked 8 because that's my favorite number. So we've got a function that basically just doubles that number. But at the end of the day, we might not know what this mystery number really is. Hence, that's why it's a mystery. So we're doubling it, but I am tasked to debug this JavaScript, and I don't know what's in it. And so most of the time we'll come into our script, and for this first case, I'm going to console log out and see what's in mystery. So I can see that I've got the number 8. Well, that's great. What if I don't have access to write any JavaScript debugging code, or I can't jump right in and figure it out? Sometimes we've got to do all these different tricks. Well, one of the nice, really cool features now that they've added is called log points. So I've gone in the code, we added that console log, we got that. What if we don't have access to that? So I have no way to kind of come in here and console log. This new feature is what they call log points. So the way we do this, I want to know, what is this doubled mystery number? I want to somehow get that information. So we can right click here on the line number, and we can go to add log point. Now, this is just an expression. So if I wanted to just type out mystery and see what that number is, let's go ahead and do that. We click off. Now when I come back to the console, there's nothing there. If I refresh the site, 8, boom, exciting. Now, what happens when I want to find out what this function's run, right? Because I can see here's 8. I'm not too good with numbers. Maybe I don't know the math, where this function's really complex. What is this? I could run this in my console and copy all this, right, and figure it out. But here's a quick way when our scripts get more complex. How do we get this number? Well, I can simply type this in here and come back here to the console and refresh, and now we get our number. So pretty sweet. So we're able to console to the log without having to clutter up our code with a bunch of console log statements. So that's one of the very cool new features. Now, some of the other ones, which I was just stoked about, really exciting, really cool, especially if you're a beginner. We come in here and we're inspecting some of our code, right? So this is my website, and I want to know, we learned about colors in the last video, so I want to know, is this white text on the black, does that meet our accessibility guidelines? Is it clear? Is it legible? Is anyone going to have problems reading it? So one of the really cool new features here is I can come to this element. Let me refresh here. So I'm on our P tag, and I'm down here and I'm looking at the color white. So I can click on this color. So the newest feature right here are these little check marks, and it's the contrast ratio of that white against its background color or background element. So right here we've got the AA and the AAA guidelines. So we see these little curves here, and what that tells us is as soon as we go past them, that we're no longer compliant with AAA standards. So same thing when we go further, and we can see how much harder that text now is to read against that black background. So really, really neat when we're working with colors and trying to figure out what's going to be most clear and legible. You know, like if I really wanted to have a little bit of a darker color, how dark can I go before it's considered not readable, right? So super neat, really cool. I'm really happy about this feature. I feel like that'll help when picking colors and deciding things. One of the other really cool features is we can inspect things now. Like when I right click and I inspect, so we've got our element, it kind of tells us a little bit more details. Just right here, when I do this and I hover over it, I can see what the width and height of that element is. But we can go a step further. We can get, I've seen some plugins and extensions do this with Chrome, but now right out of the box, the Chrome browser will do this. So now what I'm doing is I'm clicking this select element. That's another way to select elements. And so when we just hover with our mouse, it'll start to grab all the containing. So you can kind of see how we've got our padding on these elements and where they lie. But I can't quite hover over this, but if you just look up here, we've got the name of the tag, the class name. We've also got the width and height of the element, the color, the font, and even the contrast ratio right there. So you can see this button that I've styled, it's not actually meeting one of those contrast ratio guidelines. It's not reaching that 4.5, so I'm a little low on that. So kind of cool. So before, you know, I would have to run another checker or something else against my site. So now I'm easily able to see those things. So it's really neat. So as we start to hover around things and see the grid, yeah, we can get a lot more details here. So those are my top 3 things. I hope you found that exciting, a little interesting as you start to play around with the Chrome DevTools. Man, they're really improving them, and it's really exciting. So that's all I've got for you for tonight. I will have some more exciting stuff in the next coming videos. So chat with you later.